It's Red Tag Savings going on right now. AJ Doman Chevrolet. It's your chance to save thousands on all remaining 24 Silverado work-ready trucks. No matter what your business needs are, AJ Doman has a truck for you. AJ Doman Chevrolet, your business elite dealer.
No credit, bad credit, upside down, we can help. AJ Doman Chevrolet at the foot of the Market City Bridge in Berwick.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Weissite, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it very, very much. And whenever we have lots of news and updates, we always turn our attention to Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office and Captain Brendan Mathern. Captain Mathern, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us, Keith.
I appreciate it. Got lots of stuff to go over. Tell us first about this attempted murder that we saw over with the Bayou Blue man.
Yeah, kind of an interesting case here, an unusual case, should I say, with Lamar Bellinger, a 33-year-old from the Bayou Blue area. We ultimately arrested him on November 9th. We responded to a 911 call it was a crash involving injuries in the Bayou Blue area. Essentially, we learned that Bellinger reportedly struck another person with his car. And how he did that is the person was kind of standing in the open doorway with the car, and Bellinger rammed into that door, trapping the person and causing critical injuries to that person. And that person was airlifted to University Medical Center in New Orleans. There was a woman who was driving the victim's vehicle. She was also taken to a local hospital for treatment. But we found Bellinger's car abandoned just a short distance away. Quickly tracked him down and apprehended him, and he was arrested. He's going to be facing charges which include attempted second-degree murder and aggravated criminal damage to property. By the way, he struck and damaged a mini bike that belonged to a bystander that was along the side near the incident. So he was booked into jail that same day, and bail is set at $150,000 on Bellinger.
Yeah, it's nice to know that those kinds of violent acts get addressed and handled quickly. It's always good that you guys are able to do that so very quickly and kind of get him off the street, if you will. We also had this armed robbery in Lockport. Tell us a little more about that.
Yeah, so this case remains unsolved, and we're actually utilizing Crime Stoppers Bayou region to help us in solving this crime. But around 7 o'clock on November 6th, our deputies were notified of an armed robbery that had occurred just outside of a Lockport motel. And we learned that there was a man outside the hotel. He was approached by a masked man who demanded money and his cell phone. Ultimately, the man gave him money, did not have a cell phone to give him, and he actually trapped the man in a storage building before leaving the scene. What we do know, and through investigation, what our detectives were able to find, was that he jumped into a minivan. And in fact, this minivan that you see here, along with this individual who was driving the van. So obviously in-house, we weren't able to identify this individual or get a clear shot of the license plate. But we have shared this with the public in the hopes of being able to, someone will either recognize the vehicle or a combination of the vehicle and the driver, that someone will know and be able to help us out with that. We believe that the suspect is a white male between 5'9" and 6 inches tall. So we're also trying to obviously identify the main suspect, the primary suspect in the robbery. Anyone who can help identify either the suspect, any knowledge of this, or can identify this person that you see here in combination with that minivan, we're asking that you contact Detective Blake Thibodeau of our Criminal Investigations Division. He can be contacted at 985-532-4352. Or you can use the information you see here on the screen for Bayou Region Crime Stoppers. You can call by phone, 1-800-743-7433. You can also submit tips online at crimestoppersbr.org, or our most popular way of submitting tips now is the Bayou Tips mobile app. It is a standalone app strictly for Bayou Region Crime Stoppers. And as you know, Keith, any tips submitted through Crime Stoppers could lead to a reward of up to $1,000 in cash if the information leads to an arrest.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So great information to be able to have that, and we look forward to hearing more. While we've got a little time left in this segment, let's talk a little bit about this narcotics charge that came in, I think, early this morning.
Yeah, we released this information earlier today. This is actually from last week as well, though. On November 7th, our narcotics agents conducted a traffic stop on a vehicle belonging to Xavier Triplett, a 26-year-old, actually listed as being from Houston, Texas, but obviously he's been frequenting the Lockport area. And they had actually been investigating him for the sale of narcotics in the Lockport area, specifically fentanyl and heroin. They conducted a traffic stop. He had an outstanding warrant for Lockport Police Department. They conducted a traffic stop, had their narcotics canine unit. It came out to the scene and was able to find that he had 15 grams of heroin and 7 grams of fentanyl. The street value of that narcotics is approximately is well over $2,000. The key here is that amount of fentanyl, 7 grams. Now those amounts don't seem like a lot, Keith, but 7 grams of fentanyl is enough for 3,500 lethal doses here.
Yeah.
So that's the key here, is that there was so much fentanyl that was taken off the streets by our narcotics agents.
So, and a great job. It's one of those things where we find out, all of us have heard these sad stories about fentanyl being placed or laced, fentanyl laced in other things. And quite frankly, for that volume, with that amount, getting it off the street means we have saved lots of lives potentially. So great job to you and your team. We've got some good news to report. And so I appreciate you sticking around to tell us some of the good things happening over at Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office. So Brendan, again, thank you, Captain Brendan, for sticking with us. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back to talk about some of the good things happening in your community and some of the people that you know. We'll be right back right here on Bayou Time.
Social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights.
Hello, and welcome back to this edition of Bayou Time. Again, your host, Keith Weissite, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us, however you may be joining us. We appreciate it. And, we're always thankful for getting the updates on all of those arrests and all the things that are happening in our community, where law enforcement is doing their job of getting people off the streets, especially taking care of keeping us safe. We appreciate it. But there's also some good things that happen. We welcome back to the program Captain Brendan Mathurin, the Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office. Thanks again for joining us, Captain. We appreciate it.
Of course, Keith. Happy to be here.
Thanks. And listen, we talk about partnerships all the time and how it's so important to be able to be a really big part of the community, something y'all really do. Let's talk about that partnership that you guys have about bringing some joy at this time of the year.
Yeah, we have for 30 years now, Sheriff Craig Weber has been able to give bicycles to needy families at Christmas time. This started as a way, an idea 30 years ago to, for kids that may not otherwise have received a Christmas gift, or it's going to be a very slim Christmas for struggling families. He wanted to be able to provide that timeless classic gift of a bicycle. And Keith, you remember, as a kid, a bicycle is really that first time that you get that freedom, that sense of freedom to kind of go wherever you want, within the streets, or as long as the street lights are on.
Right.
But it's been that timeless gift ever since we were kids, and it continues to be that. And so since 1992, we've given out more than 5,500 bikes to area families, 225 in last year alone. And Bless Your Heart Nonprofit has been a great partner since I've taken over the program in 2021. They helped us post Ida in identifying kids that lost everything in the storm. And that year as well, and they funded the entire program that year. And then the last few years, they have donated $2,500 to the program. I received a check this week again from Bless Your Heart. So you see Hillary Danos of Bless Your Heart Nonprofit there, just one of the many great faces of volunteers with that program. We really appreciate their part in this. Talos Energy had also donated, made a significant donation to us of $7,500. So that's a bulk of our funding right there for this year's giveaway, and will allow us to provide bikes for kids this year. But we're still in need of donations, whether it's a brand new bike or any monetary donations. Those can be submitted at any LPSO office. You can bring in a check. We'll take it in any shape or form in order to give bikes to these kids. And you saw the image there of the kids getting bikes in last year for Christmas. We are happy to tell you that tomorrow, on Friday, November 15th, we will announce that we are now taking nominations of children to get bikes this year. So if you know of a family in need, we'd love for you to go online and fill out that form. Just look for that announcement tomorrow. The best way to hear about it and to know when everybody else knows is to go download our app today, the Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office mobile app, and you will get an alert on your phone when we announce that, just like when we announce every other news release, and you'll be able to sign up immediately.
So, some wonderful news. I always want to do a shout out to the community about finding out who needs it, and that you can go down to your local Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office and drop off a check and help maybe fund somebody's joy this year for Christmas, because it's not just a toy. It's a new opportunity and options for them, as you mentioned. Brennan, I appreciate that. A couple other things going on. We got the Training Academy graduation. Let's talk a little bit about this. Really exciting.
Yeah, so last night, 30 cadets graduated from our training academy. I believe we had around 6 of them from Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office. The others were from agencies all over the state, as far away as Tangipahoa, Ball, Manny, Louisiana, St. Helena Parish. There was plenty from around the entire state of Louisiana. You see Sheriff Craig Weber, as he always does, address the cadets and swore everyone in. Major Lafayette Day, who has over 30 years experience with the Sheriff's Office and is a former Academy director, gave the keynote speech last night. But we're definitely proud of those cadets. They put in a lot of hard work, and the test, the written test, has gotten very complicated. They've kind of raised the standards and raised the bar. So, that's even more work that these cadets have put in, and we're able to pass to become peace officers and realize their dreams. So we want to congratulate all the members of Class 127 of the Lafourche Sheriff's Regional Training Academy who graduated last night.
Yeah, many congratulations to them. And we got about a minute and a half left of the show. Let's talk about Miss Nancy and all of the time and energy she spent. We talk about the cadets coming in. It's her time to be able to say goodbye.
Absolutely. Nancy Commodell started her career in August of 1992. She was in 5 years promoted to sergeant and then later to lieutenant in 2014. She's been an exemplary employee, primarily serving in the food services section of the corrections department. She oversaw preparation of more than 1,000 meals every day for inmates, Head Start, and the elderly, both in Lafourche and Terrebonne parishes with the Meals on Wheels program. She has truly been, a community contributor. She's helped organize charitable efforts like the Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics, as well as Relay for Life, which has been a close, important thing for her, raising money for the American Cancer Society. Loyal and dedicated employee. Her LPSO family means the most to her. And as you can see, she has really loved working for Sheriff Weber, loved her career here, and finally retiring after 32 years of dedicated service.
Well, congratulations to her. Congratulations to all those cadets that just passed, and really excited about the bike giveaway that y'all do every year. Really looking forward to a wonderful holiday season. We thank you so very much, Captain. You have a great day. Appreciate all the updates.
Thank you, Keith. We appreciate it.
All right. And that'll do it for this particular segment, but don't go anywhere. A lot more right here on Bayou Time.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough.